Hello, one and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one, we're talking Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson recently teases a comeback. We're going to talk about the possibility of Tony stepping a foot back in that octagon. What does this mean? Is it a good idea? Is it not a good idea? Does it even matter what we think? We're going to get into that. Before getting started, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Only if I can put my hands on what exactly went wrong with Tony Ferguson. I mean, this gentleman went from number one contender for that lightweight title, once was known as Il Kukui, the boogeyman, absolutely terrifying, one of the most entertaining, feared, most unorthodox fighters to have ever stepped a foot in the octagon. I have tremendous respect for Tony Ferguson and everything that he did inside of the octagon. I don't know about Tony Ferguson outside of the octagon. I really know nothing about that guy. I'm talking about Tony and the moments that he gave us inside of that octagon. Absolutely legendary. One of the best fighters to have ever done it. I still stick by that opinion. But I'm still trying to figure out, where did it all go wrong for Tony? I mean, the losses that he's been had, I don't know if it's 6 or 7 in a row at this point. Absolutely crumbling career. Is it age? Is it speed? It seemed like, it seems as if age and speed have a lot to do with it. Tony seems slower. And, it's just a simple fact of age. I mean, you're not going to get faster with age. That's for certain. I would argue that, realistically speaking, I want to say your athletic prime, let's say for athletes that take very good care of themselves, it's going to be around 30. Let's say 28 to 32 is probably where you hit your absolute peak prime. And I'm talking about mental and physical. But if you're talking about purely physical prime, I would argue that your athletic prime is probably around 20 years old. But obviously you don't have the experience to go along with it. That's why pure athletic abilities is not enough. It has to be accompanied with experience, which that's why I say between 28 to 32 is probably the sweet spot for, athletic and mental prime. For Tony Ferguson, the 36, 37-year-old, I don't know. Tony's most certainly in his late 30s. Last time around against Michael Chiesa, I have to be honest, that fight at 170, initially, Tony did not look too bad, must be said. Matter of fact, the first few encounters of that fight, few exchanges rather, I kind of felt as if Tony had a real chance of beating Michael Chiesa, but then Michael Chiesa did exactly what he said he was going to do, and that's submit Tony Ferguson. Obviously handed the guy, I think it was like 7th loss in a row. Now he teases another fight, another comeback. Now, when you look at that 155 division, 170 division, it's just, there aren't any easy fights to be had. And I said earlier in the introduction, I said it doesn't really matter what we think, whether we think he should fight or not. I mean, obviously the guy is expressing interest in fighting again. And, you can, if you're a person close to him, you can try and convince him otherwise. But if he's convinced that he has one more fight left in him, then I don't think anybody wants to be the cause, for a person like later on in their life kind of regretting something. So, like I said, I mean, I would assume that most MMA fans, Tony Ferguson fans particularly, I'm pretty sure don't want to see the guy take more punishment. I mean, nobody's opposed to Tony Ferguson stepping a foot back in the octagon if he was doing well, but the guy is just being finished time and time again, became a stepping stone for these fighters. And it's like an easy win for whoever gets in the octagon against Tony. It's a shame. It's a shame. After being known as the boogeyman, this guy was one of the scariest fighters all across divisions in the UFC. In the lightweight division, who was known as Il Kukui, the boogeyman. But now, I don't want to say that legacy's tarnished, but he's no longer Il Kukui. That's for certain. If you made it this far, appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and like, subscribe for more.